Record. And okay. We're live, but we haven't officially started this interview. It's a continuing series. My name's Kirk, and I'm here in Studio 4 every Monday night. Channel 1997 in high def to answer your questions. And we got the bat phone over here at 212-245-7273. We're just setting up our interview now, and it's not going live. It's going straight to YouTube, Vimeo, and Facebook, and social media. And tonight we have my good friend and hopefully soon-to-be medicinal doctor with medicinal oils. He focuses on plants. What'd you say, plants? We're just kind of chatting right now before we start the real legitimate interview. So we were going to choose a oil to set the tone. Okay, so we kind of get like in action here. I'm nervous, and first of all, tell me the right pronunciation because I still can't say the right. Go ahead, look at the camera, and let us have it.
My name is Dragos Dobrescu.
Dobrescu. Is it Italian?
It's Romanian.
It's Romanian.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get into more about how you were born in Romania, then you went to France, and then you got to the States.
Yes.
Let's, you've got here, lift up, show us your show and tell.
Well, this is look
at that. Can you see this?
Right.
Let me, look at this.
Yes. So this is my toolbox, one of my toolboxes.
Okay.
Yes. My main toolbox, I should say.
So primarily, you know, this is like, it's your kind of, this is like, what, tell me. Like, so these are
essential oils.
Okay.
And so for people who don't know, essential oils, these are basically plant extracts. The most concentrated form of plant extract, they're about up to 70% stronger than dried herb, to give you an idea.
So these are medicinal plant, tree bark,
they could come from roots of the plants, from the barks, if there is any bark, from the stems and leaves, from the flowers, or from the fruit, depending on the plant.
Okay.
And certain plants have oils in different parts of the plant. And then through scientific analysis, you could determine, you know, which part of the plant is best for the extraction of the oils.
Okay, so people watching, they kind of think like, oh, they go to the health food store, Whole Foods, and they buy like, oh, I like lavender, I like patchouli.
Yes.
Patchouli is a blend, or is it one thing?
Patchouli is one plant.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Okay, what's the plant?
Patchouli.
That's interesting. The plant is called patchouli.
Patchouli, yes.
What is patchouli good for? Because like in a witchy sense, like in a shamanic, they usually like say, hey, it's for protection.
So the scientific name is Pogostermon cablin. That's the scientific name of the plant.
Okay, now wait
patchouli.
A minute. This is a medicinal strength patchouli for internal. You can take it inside, or no?
Patchouli, you don't take it inside.
Okay, you don't?
No, even if it's medicinal, you don't take it inside.
So,
yes.
Okay, what's patchouli, like what are the properties? Medicinally, psychically, spiritually?
It's...
Because usually, like, lesbians wear it and they're like, you know, that's not being like, that's really true, right? Like like female women, like they always smell like patchouli.
I've even heard, I've been told that some men wear it to attract women. So.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right, I wear patchouli. Okay, I wear.
So what does it do for you?
Protection.
Why you're for protection? Okay.
Is that true?
It can definitely help the heart. So in that sense, I could say protection is a good experience for it. Yes.
Okay, now like there's a blend of perfume, very expensive, Yves Saint Laurent that is opium, and I think it's got patchouli, it's got orange, it's got cinnamon.
Okay.
Now, would you make a perfume for a person, or is it only like you're just like a what do you consider yourself? A healer? You call yourself a therapist? Are you?
I call myself a therapist and a healer. Yes.
Okay.
Although I have to say that I really guide my clients to their own healing. I don't really do any healing per se. You know, we tend to call ourselves healers, but really it's about guiding my clients to their own healing.
Okay, so I come to you and I'm like, Dragosh, I don't feel safe. What do? I need like a scent around me. I need some oils. I feel like I need to be calm throughout the day. What do I, can you do something for that?
So you probably need a lot of grounding. One plant that's powerful for that would be vetiver. You might enjoy this.
We talked about this, right? When we met for like the pre-interview thing?
I believe we did, yes.
Yeah.
Vetiver. Okay. So vetiver is a grass, and the oil is extracted from the roots of the grass. And it's very deeply grounding. So smelling it is powerful, and you can see how thick it is. That's a really good quality oil. The ones that you find in stores tend to be much more liquid, and really shows that the quality is diluted.
So you have a carrier oil, like you go and buy, like Oracacia is a famous brand.
Right.
It's in a carrier oil, and the carrier oil is usually like what, grapeseed? Is that grapeseed oil, or? So it's a mixture. It's not a pure oil. And what you have is a pure.
No. So they're labeled most oils that most companies, without necessarily going into names, but a lot of companies, they claim 100% oil. The more expensive oils will be diluted. Things like frankincense, they want to make it, I guess, affordable for people, so they will dilute it to 5% or less. Some companies don't really mention what percentage of the actual essential oil is in the carrier oil. But the other oils, like vetiver, it's technically, according to the label, just the oil. However, if and this is where the medicinal part comes in, if the plant is not mature enough, most companies, for perfume grade, they only let the plant grow to 6 months when it comes to vetiver.
So then it's not really the full resin, like
exactly. The plant didn't accumulate all the chemistry that
really
makes it
is
medicinal.
Supposed to have.
Exactly. So a year and a half is the right time for vetiver to mature, to have good quality oil.
So each plant has a different time.
Absolutely.
Different root, different part of the plant.
So certain plants need 2 years to mature before you could harvest them.
Okay, now wait. You buy from a very specific, what is it? House of Oils. It's a
right. It's a company that makes oils, but it's a scientific company, so they do a lot of research into the oils, and they do very specific and very intense testing of the oils, so to make sure that what they claim is what you get. And really, that's what makes them medicinal. And medicinal is a term that has no real legal value, but it's truly, when you look at the plant and what the chemistry of the plant is supposed to have, is truly what you get in the oil.
Where you buy from.
Correct.
Okay, so the other thing is, I noticed you took the vetiver and you put it right here.
Yes.
Is there different parts of the body that you know?
A lot of people like to put it on pulse points. If you're some acupuncturist, I've met, they like to put it on acupuncture points. A lot of the oils, I like to put them here for 2 reasons. First, we have arteries here, so the oils in about 5 to 10 seconds reach the bloodstream, and in another few seconds they reach the brain. So it's very close.
Quick.
Quick, and within about 15 minutes they reach the whole body.
What about the ears? Behind the ears, on the ears?
Definitely, especially if you have some ear health concerns.
Okay.
You could definitely put the ears here, and then actually rub them inside. Put them on your finger and rub them inside. Absolutely.
All right. So if
I also rub
nervous,
on the eyes.
The eyes.
Well,
it's not going to get into your eyes.
It will through the skin. It will get through my eyes. Absolutely.
But it's not going to burn or.
No. Well, it depends on the oil.
What about here? What about like?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah. So there is an oil blend actually that I use on my face every morning. So after I wash my face, I have it in a roller. So I roll it on my face and under the eyes, and then I close my eyes, and then I rub the eyes, and I rub everything. And
what is that combination? Can I ask?
It has frankincense and lavender, and jasmine and rose and helichrysum,
Because those kind of don't seem like they go together. Like usually, like I don't know, you have like a musk base or a fruit base or a floral base, but this is medicinal,
Well,
so it's different, right? It's not a perfume.
Right. I'm not really thinking as perfume when I make mixes. I really think as medicine. And so this blend is very good to tighten the skin and to penetrate the cells and help the cells rejuvenate themselves. So they actually stimulate healing at the cellular level. So it's good for preventing.
And you studied all of this over a period of how long?
I've been using oils for the last 20 plus
so
years.
So you're in your 20s, you're a kid, and you go right for the oils. Like that's your main, because I went right for the tarot cards.
Yes.
I was like Oracle, Tarot, images, color, Zodiac, like all of that was like completely germane for me. So you go for the oils.
I went to the oils first, actually, before I even got into more, the teas and the other form of herbs. Yes, I use those first. Actually, yes.
Okay, now frankincense, supposedly, we always hear that when Jesus was born, this baby was born, they bring frankincense and they bring myrrh.
And it's unclear, was it the oil, was it the resin? I've heard both stories. I'm not quite sure exactly which form of frankincense they brought.
Okay, so you have frankincense here?
I do. I have just enough to smell, unfortunately.
It's very expensive, right?
It's pricey, yeah.
Okay.
It is pricey. However, the good thing about the oils, as I mentioned, they're extremely concentrated. So we're talking drops. Every time you use them, you use drops. So you're not gonna.
Frankincense is what?
So it's the resin of a tree.
Okay.
And
where is this tree?
The plant is called boswellia. So perhaps some people have heard of boswellia. Sometimes you find boswellia resin in a capsule in the health food store. But this is just the oil extracted from that resin, distilled from that resin.
How much would a little vial like that cost? If you can just hold it up so we can.
So these, can you see?
Can you hold your bag up too, so we can see, like in front of the camera, so we can see, like, you've got this bag. There you go. Okay, so you've got all these things in different colors, and people can actually buy these, right?
Yes, they can.
And you give a class.
And I give a few classes, yes.
Okay.
I give an intro to essential oils, and I also give an anti-aging class.
Anti-aging.
Anti-aging, yeah. I used to call it graceful aging, but it didn't seem to click. And I also give an emotional balance class and a chakra balance class.
Okay. Are you ready? How you feeling? So we can start officially now to go.
I think I feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm not sure how my movements were for the camera. I think I looked a little bit too much at the.
It's hard, recording. I'm getting these master healers on camera, and I realize I've been sitting in this studio, and this is my studio basically for 13 years, and I'm just like I'm at home,
Right. Yes.
And so, then you get these people, and they're like extremely knowledgeable, but they're like terrified in front of the camera, or they get camera fright. So you have to kind of like, okay, pull out an oil to calm us both down, so we can, and then we'll start the official. Interview.
Okay.
So where are we gonna just put a little? No, what am I wearing? I'm wearing cedarwood from this bath this morning with a little balsam fir, and what else did I put in there? Some tea tree.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's a good mix. It's a grounding.
Yeah. And the tea tree is good for the lungs. It really helps open and protect. It's an energetic protector. Tea tree.
Okay. And then I also have a patchouli that I do put on if I go out, like in night.
Yeah.
For protection. So what are we gonna do to like maybe bring us very calm now?
I really like this blend. It helps calm me. Are we recording it now still, or what's going on right now? I'm not sure what's going on.
We're still recording,
still
but we
recording.
haven't started the official interview.
Okay.
So just look there,
Okay.
just breathe. We're going to forgive Mr. Dragos if he doesn't have the right camera presence all the time. He's not used. But you do have a class, so you are in front of people, right?
Yes, and I'm always quite nervous still.
And you're still nervous.
I'm still
It took
nervous.
me like 7 years of
Wow.
coming here.
Yes.
I would almost throw up. Every time I would like get nauseous, I'm going to throw up on it, and then they would just go flip the camera, whatever happens.
Whatever happens, yeah.
So
I have to remember that, whatever happens.
let's go back to this, and then we'll officially official interview.
Yes. So I use this blend a lot. It's a grounding blend of frankincense and spruce and whole wood and blue tansy and blue chamomile. So the whole mixture is very good for calming and really calming that little voice that we may have in the back of the mind that may trouble us.
Okay, so you have the Zen mind, the mind of the master, the mind of intuition, and
Exactly.
then you have the other one. So
So
I get some of this too. So
You want
where
it
are
here?
Yeah, I don't know where
it's
you.
up to you. You could have it here. You could have it on your neck.
Let's go for the neck.
Okay.
Okay.
So here, let's go up front. Oops. There we go. So rub it in a little bit. So the other reason you asked me
it
earlier,
smells so good.
right?
Yeah.
I put it actually in a spray because I tend to spray my business cards before I give them to people.
Oh,
with
that's a good idea.
this.
Because I have all 6 senses as a spiritual gift. I have what we say is clairvoyant, clairaudio, clairsentient is to feel,
Yes.
precognition, and I can't remember what the other one is. So basically our 5 senses plus the 6th sense.
Right.
But I have clair olfactory.
Oh.
So I can smell a person's energy. My sense
Okay.
of smell, even though I smoke cigarettes, my sense of smell is so heightened that if I just smell like a thing like that, I'll get high.
Okay.
It's so powerful.
Okay.
So they say our psychic receptors are all right here around our nose
Okay.
as well. So that's a good smell.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I want more, but
It's gonna keep working.
Okay, so it's
absolutely.
gonna-
And so the reason you asked me why do I spray the over here? So besides the arteries, it's also right in front of your nose, so you get to smell the oil as well. If you don't want to smell, you could put it behind your neck, and it will do the same job. However, here you get to smell it, and when they engage the olfactory receptors in your nose, that goes straight to the limbic brain. And that's responsible for long-term memories, emotions, and it's responsive to smells as well. And so we're talking about smelling something and just having this memory about being 3 years old and running in the fields with grandmother's cookies.
right.
That's the limbic system.
That will trigger, say you haven't smelled this thing, a person always, grandma, whoever, always wore this perfume, and then all of a sudden 20 years later,
Right.
the full memory
Exactly.
will come, I call full body memory.
Exactly.
Literally, you
Exactly.
can almost feel the person, or you're almost, this cologne in the 80s called Kouros.
Kouros, okay.
Kouros, right? And I used to wear it all the time, and then I never wear it, and then I smelled it 20 years later, and I was like,
And just brought you back. Yeah.
instantly,
Yes. Exactly. And the flip side of that is the bad memories. Something bad happened to you, or attacked, or somebody broke up with you, or somebody died, and the smell might bring you back to that memory that you had pushed to the side because you couldn't deal with it. However, and that's why I love the oils, is because they work on that emotional level, and they work on that memory that brings back from the body. The body always remembers, but it brings it out to the conscious level of our mind, and then we could deal with that pain.
or perhaps release it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and sometimes you don't necessarily remember, but you just have a release. So you might use something and then start crying. Yeah.
Right. How you feeling now? Can we do the official beginning of the...
Yeah, and I'm thinking about talking about either black pepper or melissa. Actually, I like both, maybe both. Who knows?
Okay. For what? Let me just cue up we're gonna show a little bit. We're gonna start the show now. We're gonna start the official interview, and then we're gonna play a little of my thing.
Can you, before you press play, can I drink some water or? Always still what's going on?
Take a brief break, and I'm gonna show this. Here, you got a minute, okay?
Just wanna.
Go ahead.
Just not getting dry.
Right, where's your mic?
Right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Great shot.
Thank you.
It's all selfies?
Kind of, yeah. Maybe like every other one.
Okay.
All right, you're on mic now, right now.
Okay.
Okay, and good evening, Manhattan, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond. My name's Kirk, and this is my spiritual, supernatural television show where we go out live every Monday, Mystical Magical Monday. We are doing a not live interview with Mr. Dragos Dobrescu.
Dragos Dobrescu, yes.
Dragos
Dobrescu.
Dobrescu.
Perfect.
I don't believe I got it perfect on the name. Okay.
You got it. Don't worry.
And we're in Midtown Manhattan on the west side, and we're live in Studio 4 right now. We've kind of had a pre-interview. We're talking about essential oils, medicinal oils, plants, tree barks, roots, and kind of learning from Mr. Dragos. And, okay. Let's see. You're born in Romania.
Yes.
Then you make your way to France.
To France, yes. When I was 12, my parents moved us to France, my sister and I.
Okay, so, and then you get to the States.
Yes.
At 22.
At 22, I came on my own at 22, yes.
Okay, so all of a sudden you're in the States, you come here for computers.
Yes,
so you're like a computer genius.
I would not say that. I was into programming and artificial intelligence, and at the time the computers weren't that advanced, so I wanted to build chips with artificial intelligence on them. So I wanted to build a Terminator, basically, a gentle Terminator, a helpful Terminator.
Okay, so you're kind of like a computer guy. And then there's a catharsis where you like have a trauma, a health crisis, and then you don't have to go on the whole. You know, what I found is when I'm interviewing master healers, like there are compounded explanations. But so you have a trauma. I had like 3 breakdowns. I mean, I've been in the house twice for almost a year in bed. Yeah. Like it's hard to explain these things, but what I learn is the common denominator and indicator is that everybody that steps into some heavy duty kind of shamanic, spiritual, therapeutic, knowledge, like at a higher and higher level, there is some kind of trauma. There is some kind of something, and then the person changes, and then they do this 180 or a 360,
right?
And they become completely something else,
right? And that's pretty much what happened to me originally. After I came to the U.S., I got sick, and I didn't want to do drugs, and so I just found, I like to say, I stumbled onto the natural healings. First with the nutrition, and then with the herbs, and it just made sense to me. So I had a revelation in a way, and I decided that I could help people much better with helping with their health than building smarter computers.
Okay, so you're kind of up and running. You're studying medicinal herbs, plants, trees. You're doing all this stuff, and also tell us what's your general at this point philosophy of healing. What's your focus? What's your you work in a couple modalities. What do you favor? What's like? Where are you the most? Hey, this is my area. When I meet a client, I'm like, well, you know what? Hands down. First, you're going to have a assessment, really. And that's 45 minutes to find out what's going on. And then really you should just go right to an oracle session with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oracle session with tarot. So what's your and that's the most germane and the easiest thing. I read the past, present, and possible future of a person's soul, the arc of their soul, and maybe access the Akashic records if needed, to find out other things, and then maybe a release. So that's all the most easiest thing for me. You know what I mean? So I tell my client, if you want, me, the hottest of the hot, the warmest of my gift. So what's that for you? First of all, tell us, you work in a couple of modalities. You do energetic healing.
I do energy healing, and I'm also an herbalist nutritionist, and I do coaching as well. So it all intertwines. My clients, they're attracted to me for my energy healing, but they often come through the consultation path. And so that we discover, I send them a questionnaire, a very, very detailed questionnaire, and then we take 2 hours for the first session, up to 2 hours.
In person, face-to-face, real time?
In person, or it can be over video if they're far away, or phone. I do prefer video if possible. I like to see them to make a better connection. And so we go into a lot more details, and then as I get to know them through their history and through everything they tell me, and the way they speak, and the way they look at me, or the way they don't look at me as they speak, through body behavior, then I start getting also intuitions about what's going on with them, and then I dig deeper into that area.
Like an Eastern doctor, if you go to an Eastern doctor, they actually do teach in Eastern medicine schools. You have a time in front of the client where you look and you see.
Absolutely.
And to look and to see will really kind of tell you, we also discussed this before while we were setting up, that the client almost always tells you really kind of they know what's wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
particularly
subconsciously.
Yes. And I told you, when I get to the space with my clients, I'm just like, what are we doing today?
Yes,
why are you here?
exactly.
Why are you here in front of me?
Exactly.
And, open them up to be able to speak directly, from their higher self. Kirk, I need to be healed, right here. Mm-hmm. What, even providing that space for them is a relief that they can finally just make the connection and say
absolutely
what's wrong.
Absolutely.
So as a healer, you're providing that. Okay, wait, let's go to. Also, people find you through, you give these free classes, right? Around Manhattan?
Yes. I have several locations around Manhattan, around Columbus Circle, Chelsea, around Bryant Park. So it varies. I try to keep multiple locations to make it more accessible for people.
And you do these classes as a loving service and community, you teach them.
Absolutely. There is a need for more healing. And people do love to heal themselves, and people do actually heal themselves. So, teaching them some basic tools for self-care is very important, I find. And then I provide them with resources to get the tools that they need as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you give these classes, you talk about the oils, you involve them directly, and then sometimes they might say, hey, I want to be your client.
Yes.
All right. So you work in you said herbalist and nutritionist.
Right.
Okay. Herbalist, nutritionist. What's a person called that works with oils? Is that
In this country, we call them aromatherapists.
Okay.
However, in the older tradition, we call them herbalists, because essential oils are just a form of the herb, just like tinctures are, just like teas are.
You're an herbalist with the oil of the herbs.
Correct.
So
Yes.
basically, like when I go to my Eastern doctor, he's got this whole thing full of herbs, like dry herbs,
Correct.
capsules.
Correct.
So basically, you're an herbalist with these compressed residue, resins, oils.
Exactly.
What do? They press them like?
They distill them actually, so they pack them in a container with water, and they put them under fire, and everything has to be controlled. So you can't put too much fire, you can't put too much pressure. It has to be the right amount for the plant that you are extracting, and so the water starts boiling and then mixing with
So
the
it's
plant
just water,
and
not
extracting
alcohol.
just water, absolutely.
Purified water.
Yes, clean
Okay.
water, and
then what? They boil it down and boil
so
it down.
so it evaporates and it carries the oils, the so-called oils. We call them oils, but they're really fat-soluble chemicals that comes from the plant. So there are no actual lipids.
Or the
There's
tree
no
bark.
actual fat.
Or the root.
Yes, depending on part of the plant that you're.
Okay, so
extracting.
you were explaining like, if you're in the kitchen, this is how it can be accessible to anybody. If you're in the kitchen, you're going to cook with rosemary or
Exactly.
maybe oregano or you
Or
said
cilantro.
even cilantro, pepper.
I stopped buying cilantro. I just use my oil.
Parsley. I don't know. What are some other like
Basil,
sage?
sage.
Sage, basil. Okay.
Yeah.
I know basil is used for protection. It's used in money spells and classic witch
Okay.
spells. Basil is used a lot of times as good fortune.
So I like basil. It's good for the adrenals. It's good for relaxing, for stress.
It's also
For example.
digestion, right? If you eat actual basil.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you
Not the main
know
one for
all of this
digestion, but-
stuff. So you're basically studied herbology, herbs, herbal medicine.
Herbology, herbalism.
So
Both
you
terms.
must have books and you've studied books and
Yes.
cross-referenced, and so now show us your what do you call this? Your
My toolbox.
your spiritual toolkit.
My toolbox.
Okay, which we kind of saw a little bit earlier, but
Yeah.
these are your basics, right? That you carry around when you give a class and when
Yes.
you see a client.
Yes.
And so now, wait a minute. Are herbs like, are they classified like a cooling herb or a warming herb? Is there anything like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Each plant has an energetic, and therefore that carries into the oils.
Okay, so
so-
one is a cooling, maybe one is a relaxing, and one is an energetic. How do you?
It's not as clear cut. Some oils like peppermint, I think we talked about peppermint earlier, are most people think of it as cooling, but it can also be warming.
Or
So
stimulating?
It's definitely stimulating. It's oxygenating. Helps bring a lot more oxygen into the body and to the brain. When you smell peppermint, you just wake up.
How old is the use of herbal medicine? Does it go all the way back to the beginning? Is this the earliest roots of shamanism? Is this?
So I did a class recently in an office, and I wanted to include a little bit of history. So in my research, I found that the earliest pots that they think were made for extraction of oils are 5,500 years old. That we found so far. So we're talking about very, very ancient
Okay,
knowledge.
so over 5,000. I would imagine the earliest shamans finally found the plants and they were like,
I think so as well.
just
Absolutely.
maybe rub it on their body or find out this one's going to make you sick, this one's going to heal you.
Absolutely.
This one.
Well, they do say actually that the reason we know why know how to use these plants is because the shaman talked to the plant and asked them, okay, who are you and what can how can I use you? What can you do
The
for me?
spirit of the plant.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is fascinating. Okay, first of all, let's just kind of do a first things first.
Yes.
And we're going to go to your website here. So if people want to get a hold of you, the best thing is Mr. Dragosh's website. And it's the direct address is the selfhealtouch.com, and you can see that on your screen. And here's up here at the top, we have about and services offered, a blog with testimonials, and then a contact page and booking sessions.
Yes.
And I think some of it, let's say it goes into the history. Is it a work in progress here, the website?
I'm gonna put more history.
Okay.
I was recommended recently. I don't really have a lot of history on my about section.
All right. So here's the basic site, and so people can get in touch with you here. Is there like also another email or phone number that you want to give out now? We'll like do,
they could definitely do info@theselfhealtouch.com.
Info,
absolutely.
Okay.
They want more information.
Okay.
Or my number, yes, sure, 917-701-8158.
Okay, and we'll give that out again before we do a wrap up. So that's a direct line for his consulting, coaching.
Yes.
And so on the website, but now we have you here in person. Okay, so you're doing integrative coach.
Yes.
What did you? Let me see. A holistic integrative. So you're treating this whole person. So first you do this assessment. You look and you see, and they fill out this paper.
If they come to me for that,
Okay.
that's usually the route. But I do have clients who just come straight for the energy healing. So if they come to me for the energy healing, they don't fill out the paperwork. We go straight to what's bringing you here today. So we have a little chat and then go into the healing itself.
Okay, so let's just go. We're going to take one thing at a time.
Yes.
Coaching.
The coaching.
So I'm coming to you for coaching. I'm like, I'm an actor. You deal on the West Side. So, okay, I'm an actor, and I really want to break in, and I really want to connect the money to the acting, and I need a coach that's also like integrative and gentle and can offer me some holistic things. I do a lot of yoga. How do I, get to this like mental? Would you use oils? What do you do here?
If I coach them in person, I might use oils, absolutely. However, so I listen to what they have to say, and I really listen to what they really want, and then I keep digging deeper into. I want to find the source of their concern. So they come to me with symptoms. I don't have this.
What does the money
that.
represent? Okay, so what does the money represent in your case? So, all right, here, Dragos, I need the money. So what does the money represent now? What is it? It represents what? Love, or it represents?
That depends on the person.
Okay. Let's talk
but
just
a
little bit about that.
The money is never really the issue. The money it represents for the person, perhaps happiness or freedom or fame, or depending what they desire. So the money is a means to an end in the end.
So in your coaching, then you're kind of looking for the symptoms, you're looking for the clues, and then you're kind of
exactly.
Okay.
And I once I figure out what's going on, I find ways to help them see that for themselves. It's much better if they come to the conclusion of the root cause of their concern. So you're just going to
gently kind of like assess, find out, and then kind of assist them in their own healing.
Absolutely.
That's correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, people do their own healing. We're our own healers. I'm just here to guide them.
So you're facilitating and assisting.
Exactly.
And so your tools and your modalities are the oils, nutrition, and
some people definitely need nutritional support. Absolutely.
And even energetic hands-on Reiki. Is that correct?
I don't do Reiki per se. I have my own technique, which involves many techniques. So from my Reiki training to my shamanic training to my own intuition, I develop over time my own technique.
Okay, so shamanic. Give me like 2 minutes about that. Where's that fit in the whole line of, okay, the herbalism, the nutrition. So you're kind of like a plant shaman, or how did you get shamanic teaching? How do you...
How did I get shamanic teaching? Let's see.
What does that mean to you? What does that... You're communicating with the essence of the plant. You're communicating...
I'm communicating with the other side, and I make a connection with the person, or I make a connection to their spirit. It varies it's case by case, really. Whatever they need.
So you're saying you're connecting kind of to maybe the cosmos, divine intelligence, to get these people, and even their higher self, I know, will just tell you. So you're intuitively guided. Are you going to other dimensions? Are you?
Yes, I do talk to the other side in a way. I'm not sure how to explain that, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I just go to the other side. I would say that.
All right, so you do feel kind of cosmic connection in your healing. It's not all just right here in the material world.
Absolutely.
So another super conscious that you're...
Absolutely, and I have guides that I speak to for support, because they have connections to the other side. And by guides, I mean from the other side.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a shamanic aspect to what Mr. Ghosh does as well. There's a supernatural, and any real healer, good healer, I mean, I'm retrieving a person's soul. There is a supernatural element to... We're not like normal people anymore after a certain... Is that right? I mean, don't you think...
What is normal?
Well, okay, normal. We're not... I'm not fully in this world. I mean, like I always said, I would have had a much easier time if people would have said to me, Kirk, you're just here, like, maintaining a body, but really, the bigger part of you is on the other side. I mean, like, I needed those people to come in and tell me that and give me mirroring and feedback. A lot of times, even just telling a person who they are can, like, heal the larger part of them. Do you find that's true? Like, you're just, if somebody would have just said, Kirk, you're a healer, or you're about to become a shaman, or, you're a plant doctor, you're a plant...
Would you have been ready to listen to them? That's what I was telling you. I get people to find their own
You're
truth.
being my shaman right now. Okay, my first teacher, really, like in my 20s, right after I quit drinking and taking drugs and got sober, she told me, and it took me 20 years from some of the stuff she told me. She like lobbed it in, and she was like, Kirk, you're like have all spiritual gifts. And I'm like, I mean, what? I was like, what? It took 20 years to be able to be like, acclimate up to this.
Yes.
Right?
For me, for the shamanic part, it was weird because I discovered shamanism through books. I was attracted to certain books. And I was fascinated. It's like, it just made sense. A little bit like when I discovered nutrition when I was sick originally, and so I sought out to learn more and to get some training. And my mentor, he warned me many times about the shamanic rebirth, and so. I was determined. I want this. This is what I want, and so I went through the process. And I think I keep discovering. I think I've had a few rebirths since I started that process. And I went through periods where I really asked myself, why did I want this? Why am I putting myself through this ordeal?
You know what, can I just say something for a minute? Because, maybe, you're like a reincarnated old plant shaman, old soul, right? I mean, that's kind of what I get. Like,
it's very possible. I have a friend, actually, he told me, he looked at my name. I described my name. People have trouble in this country hearing my name and understanding, so I tell them it's like dragon, whoosh, at the end, whoosh. But I have a friend who told me, put a space in between DR and Agos, Dragos, right? You can see it on the screen. So it becomes doctor from Ago. DR, doctor from Ago.
Agos,
Yeah.
Dr. Agos.
Yeah, right here, doctor from Ago.
And so what's the doctor of?
Of, helping people.
Argo. What is Argo?
No, Ago from long time ago.
Okay. Old doctor.
Old doctor, as in
Ancient
reincarnated, like
doctor.
you mentioned, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I never made that connection. We'll see.
Okay. Before we start doing an official interview, we were looking at some oils, and we're getting toward a wrap up. We've got like around 45 minutes of questions and answers, so we should start wrapping it up now.
Okay.
In closing, do you want to maybe showcase one? Give us like an idea. Choose one oil, and like in a classroom. Like we're in your classroom, so you're going to choose one oil and briefly just tell us about it, how you would speak about it in your class. And I get to smell it too, right?
Yes. You get to taste it if you want.
Oh, okay.
We'll see if you like it.
Choose wisely. Okay?
Choose wisely.
Just like Harry Potter. Choose the wand wisely. The wand chooses you.
I'll choose one of my favorite oils. And it's Melissa.
Okay, it's just Melissa, like a woman's name.
Yes.
And so it's a plant, it's a bark.
It's a plant. It's a small plant.
Okay.
And the oil is extracted from the leaves. And people might have heard of it as lemon balm.
Oh, okay.
People might have drank the tea. It's called the oil of light.
Okay, I like that.
It's wonderful for people who feel anxious, who feel uncomfortable, and the way I like to experience it, I just put a little bit like this and touch the tip of my tongue, and then touch the tip of my tongue to the roof of my mouth.
Okay.
Okay, I do this, I touch, and go ahead.
Okay, what do I do?
So just touch.
Put some right here?
Yeah, just touch a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't put the whole thing in your mouth. You put
I put too much.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just learning. Okay, and then
and then touch the
Now wait a minute. And did you study the tongue to where like there's a sweet, why do you say the tip?
So yes, because we have an energy path that goes up and down the spine and in front of our body as well.
Okay.
So by touching the tongue to the roof of the tongue, you make that connection. I'm very curious to see what you.
I feel kind of high already. Any kind of oil makes me high.
You told me that, yes.
It really does. Like
so I was very curious to see what you are going to say.
Any kind of smell, it just is intoxicating to me.
It is for me as well. I feel an expansion when I take this one.
I feel like everything opening up. Okay.
Exactly.
So
I feel we are made of light. And, some people might have trouble hearing that.
But my tongue's a little numb too.
It's gonna go away. It's a little spicy. Like I said, you put a little bunch.
Okay,
so
I put too much.
Very little.
I was
Less is more. Just to give you an idea, it takes about 1,000 pounds of pounds of herbs of leaves. Sorry, to make this little bottle. So it's very, very concentrated. So less is more when it comes to this one.
So that is it's lemon balm tea. Lemon balm?
Lemon balm, yes.
So if you're just going to get lemon balm tea, that's but this is
you might get you're going to get a fraction of
blow the back of my head off in a good way.
Yeah.
My whole house is full of oils that I've mixed just intuitively.
Yes.
Like I don't really know anything.
Yes.
When we first met at the Starbucks to talk about what do you want to talk about, and let's figure out what's going on and how we're gonna ask you questions, he pulled these books out, these huge, beautiful, like a book like that is just it's a treasure for your life, right?
It is.
Because you just refer to it and it becomes almost like if you were a chef, those are your knives, this is your tools. And so he pulled this book out and he was nose it backward and forward. So that was really interesting and cool to see. So
And so it has a lot of medicinal properties as well. So it has it helps with some modulating some viral loads inside the body as well. But at the end of the day, like you mentioned, you mix your oils intuitively, and the books give you a partial information. So if you're attracted to this oil for a reason that you don't see in the book, that's okay. Go with it.
I have, like I mix these oils for my clients, and if I do see them in person, I will anoint them here,
yes,
in the back of the head. And depending on what they want. I mean, I have like an oil that I've prayed over that represents charisma. I have an oil that represents miracles and your ability to experience and desire a miracle. And it kind of smells like very light, like almost like rain. It's not heavy.
Nice.
And then I have divine protection.
Yes.
Which is a combination of several things, and even incense that I made, and I prayed, and they kind of, like, after a couple, 10 years, these bottles are all sticky, and they're, like, getting energy that somehow I intuitively...
Some of these oils get better with age, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it kind of smells a little bit like Christmas, but not. It's peppery, as you said.
Yes.
So, it's very powerful, right?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like I can't even explain what's the feeling. I feel a little high.
I definitely feel high. I though I was just mentioning, so we're made of light. So I feel like this kind of helps the body really express that. We tend to hide. We have self-esteem issues. We have, I'm not enough. And all these other fears that we have, and that kind of blocks our light from really showing to the world who we are. So this kind of opens that up.
Our process of healing is really this constant clearing.
Always.
This constant reharmonizing, focus and concentrate, focus and concentrate. In summation, you want to... how do you want to wrap this up? We're going to let you speak extemporaneously for a couple minutes. If here's how you get a hold of me. I'd really love to have you as a client. Like, you could say whatever at this time. We'll wrap it up and, go ahead and what would you like to say now? Okay.
So if you're ready for taking charge of your healing and are ready to embark on that journey, please feel free to reach out to me. Shall I mention the website again, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll put it up here.
theselfhealtouch.com. The self-heal, as in we're healing ourselves. Touch.com, and or my phone number 917-701-8158. And I'd love to work with you and support you in your healing journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final comments? Anything? It's been my honor to have Mr. Degauche and to learn. Actually, this is going straight to YouTube in the next 48 hours.
Okay.
And on all social media links. And feel free to link to this,
Absolutely.
or put on your site or anything you want to do.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here and to be interviewed. And my first interview, I'm honored and happy that I made it.
Shakti Namaste. Okay, and you know what, Matt? Can I say what's on the tagline of all your texts?
Sure.
Go ahead, you say it. Look in the camera.
I honor the divinity in you.
Shakti Namaste. Okay, this is Kirk and Mr. Degauche. Dobrescu.
Dobrescu, yes.
Dobrescu. Now, that's Romanian.
It's Romanian.
Do you speak Romanian?
A little bit, yes.
And you speak French?
And I speak French.
And American?
American English, yeah.
Okay, and American English. All right, so you've got an idea of who Mr. Degauche is, what he's doing. If you want to get in touch with him for free classes around Manhattan as well, or meet him in person for a client consultation or coaching.
Or online, if that's easier.
Other things, what?
Or online if they're not local.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Cam to cam. So he does do tech because you have a background in tech, right? So you're good with. See how it all
It's-
works.
It doesn't take that much text, so no need to be
It all
scared
works
about
out
it.
perfectly, right? All right, my name's Kirk, and it's been my honor and privilege to have my guests and to present them to you, Shakti Namaste, Mr. Ragosh. I honor the divinity in you, and
Thank you.
we're wrapping it up. You're very welcome. Thank you for making it and sharing your toolkit with us and getting us a little high on the lemon balm. And I'm probably going to float home tonight in the stars. I'm going to get you to make me like a mix. Like a Christmas.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
And I
Patchouli,
started working on it already.
cinnamon. Yeah?
Yes, let's.
It's like a patchouli magic. I want it to smell like magic.
You want to smell like magic.
I want
Okay.
to smell like magic.
Okay.
Okay. Shakti Namaste. My name's Kirk. That's the big wrap up for today. And I will see you next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. And I'm an easy guy to find. KirkTV@gmail.com or any social media. Trust me. And over 300 videos on YouTube, Facebook, yada yada. So that's it from us, and we will see you guys next time. Give out the Shakti. Shakti. Come on, give the Shakti.
Yeah.
Shakti. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Okay. That's it.
How long did we
Did
take?
a good job. Exactly an hour.
Oh, wow.
That was exactly an hour. I kind of had to fool you a little bit and say, you know, in the interview, like, you know, we'll do the pre-interview because you were so nervous.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, we'll show the whole thing, but
Okay.
I think it's, like, really good. I think it's going to look good because you are more relaxed. And
I hope so.
more
I feel like
formal.
I was really stumbling in my answers, like I wasn't really giving answers.
It's okay because people don't expect you to, you know, I set it up.
It's like you're talking more than me.
I set it up. Well, it's all right. It's really just to get you introduced, right?
Yes.
It's opening the door for the universe to do that for you, right?
Yes.
Hey, where the hell is this thing? Oh, stop. Did I hit stop? I did hit